Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, lovely listeners and viewers. He Knows Ball here on October 21st. Beautiful, beautiful day here in Scranton, PA. Corey to my right, John to my left, Soren in his alley as per usual, waving, maybe eating some Pringles, his own brand.
Maybe in street clothes today.
Yeah, I know, finally, not wearing... viewers, you'll see that he's finally not wearing a college t-shirt. Finally updated the wardrobe, at least a little bit. But we got a lot of stuff planned for today. World Series is set. Always going to have Monday night picks. So we'll have 3 predictions this week, which will be really, really fun. You had the pick 5 this week. I'm excited to see your list.
Oh, yeah.
Got Moi Goi. He's got 2 Hall of Famers now. We'll bring that up once we get to that segment. Usual segments, as per usual, some news and notes from around the football world. But as always, we will start with everyone's favorite segment, Does He Know Ball?
Does He Know Ball?
Welcome in, everybody, to the wonderful, always, Does He Know Ball? I don't think John is allowed to participate if he just looked at my phone.
I didn't look.
Okay.
You cheater.
Okay. So we've kept it football. I was going to do something football-related, and then very unfortunate events for half of New York City.
Yeah.
But
Happens.
we got a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. So for Does He Know Ball this week, when was the last Yankees-Dodgers World Series? One answer, one try.
They said it last night, too.
I know it, too, because I've been doing my homework on
Only
this.
one try?
Sure, we'll go one try, and then guess who won the World Series as well, if you want to guess that.
I also know that answer.
And
Okay,
then
Corey,
if-
you start.
And then if you want to guess which actual game it was in the series that
Okay,
they won.
yeah, make that a little tricky.
Well, this is going to be a guess because I don't really stay in tune with baseball too much, so I'm going to say the Yankees won.
No.
Okay,
Oh.
so
It
right then.
was Dodgers over Yankees in 1981, 4-2 in the series.
On the
Wow.
money, on the money.
I was about to say because I've been doing my research for this, and right when you said that, I'm like, oh, I was hoping you were gonna ask something different because I had known that already, and I wanted to be stumped a little bit.
Yeah, but I did too many hard football ones this past couple of weeks. I really
Yeah.
stumped you guys on the QBR one. So.
You needed to build up the
Yeah,
confidence.
the
a
last
little
couple,
bit.
yeah.
Get the swagger back. Let's move to our next segment, Teamtakes. Hey, John, why don't you kick us off there, man?
All right. Well, we're going to start out positive is what I wrote, but, by the end of this, it's probably I wore the hoodie with the T-shirt underneath. The hoodie's probably going to come off from just anger and everything, but we'll see what happens. But basketball starting tomorrow. I know we'll get into that too, but I'm very excited about the Knicks. I know they got a lot of potential. I'm curious. The preseason was really good with Cat and Brunson. I liked how they worked together. I just think the starting lineup needs a little more time, but I'm positive about that. The Rangers are looking really, really good, but we know what happens with them by the end of in the playoffs. But for now, we're going to enjoy it. 4-0-1. Everyone's scoring. I think they have the most goals in the league right now too, which is pretty good. With I know there's a few teams that played a lot more games than them. Igor's looking great. He wants that contract, which he rejected, but hopefully they can work that out because we need to keep him around. Notre Dame, another solid win, but they just don't get any recognition from the committee, which is normal when you lose to a team like NIU in week 2 of the year. So they're at number 12, but I think if they just keep winning games, those SEC teams will knock each other out, and they'll slide back in the top 10 soon. I know the Mets took a tough loss last night. They look like they ran out of steam the last 3 or 4 games, but I'm extremely proud of what they did this year. I think they have a lot more in the tank, and $173 million coming off the books. So that was a lot of money this year that was paid to guys that weren't on the team. That's going to be gone now. So I think they can bring in, if they really want to, they can go out there and try to get Soto. They have the money for it. And Alonso, I think he should be back after what he did in the playoffs. He saved them from being eliminated in the wild card round, and he's not going to be the best player, but he's going to go out there and do his job. And real props to Lindor. He stepped up this year. I mean, I know his first 3 years were up and down with the Mets. Last year was good, but the first 2 years were they were iffy. But this year he's the face of this team. Like, he should be the captain next year. Maybe him and Nimmo could be like co-captains or something because they both stepped up. And Mendoza, I know Vinny in the beginning of the season, I wasn't too happy about Mendoza, but he grew on me. I got to admit that. Just like the team did, he grew on me as well. I feel he grew up, and the team followed suit with him. And they like him. That's what you need. You need players in that locker room to like your coach, and I think He's a young guy too, so he can be the manager. I mean, I hope he's the manager for 25 years. That means they're doing something right, which I think that is possible. They just got to they got to bring in the right pieces. I know they got a bunch of prospects coming up too. So maybe if these guys don't fit the roster, they can trade them for some pitching. But I'm excited for them, and I hope the Dodgers win the World Series because I can't deal with the messages on my phone anymore from the Yankee fans. I can't do it. I'm not going to spoil predictions, but I can't do it with the Yankees win the World Series. Yeah, you should be in the World Series. Look who you played. You played the Royals and the Guardians. Like, come on. I was telling Vinny this yesterday. I feel the top 4 or 5 teams I said in the National League could have beaten the Yankees in the ALCS. I mean, I don't know what you guys think, right, Corey? Like the Mets could beat the Yankees. I think.
I mean, with the momentum they had,
the Dodgers, the Padres definitely could have.
Oh yeah.
I still think the Phillies could have beat the Yankees as well.
Phillies can go die.
But I think they could have done it. I think they really could have. But enough talking about that. And this is really.
Hold on, before you start, that was really sweet. Everything that you said before this.
It
really
was.
nice.
Really
Listen,
sentimental.
No, listen, the Mets. It was. But now this is the pure garbage that I have to watch every single week.
Yeah, Bernie's leaving right now.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Bernie, I'll see you, man. So we'll start with Joe Douglas because he's under Woody Johnson. But I don't even think Joe Douglas is making decisions anymore because I know yesterday they said Hassan Reddick signed and Woody Johnson said he was the one that did it. So I think Joe Douglas might be the next guy gone. He the way they're going, he might be fired too soon, like during the season. Like I wouldn't doubt it. Guys, look at his record. He got 29-61. What a win percentage, right? Under 30%. The guy's still this is like his 6th year as a GM. Pathetic. He just walks around with his suits on and just laughs all the time. Yeah, you should be gone too. Send them back to where I think Baltimore or Philly. He can go back there. Just become a scout. The team just has a poor attitude. Like you saw last night, it's like Garrett Wilson, the pass right to his chest, he drops it, goes on the sideline, pouts like a little baby. Like, what are we doing? Like, this is the first time I've ever ripped him too because I really like Garrett Wilson. This is his 3rd year, and I don't even think he's gotten better either this year. Like, you have a better quarterback. I mean, we'll talk about him too, but we have a better quarterback right now, and he's just not playing as good, so I don't know what that's all about. I feel he's regressed. And Soren, I apologize. I keep looking at you, but you're trying to I'm keeping calm for now. But
Soren's keeping you happy?
For now, yeah. But not happy, but you know what I mean. But Garrett Wilson, he's just got to grow up. And then his draft mate there, number 10, the 3rd pick, because Garrett Wilson was 10, Sauce as well. I feel he's playing very, very soft this year. Like anytime a running back comes at him, he just throws his arms out there, doesn't actually try to tackle. Like you're just being lazy, and you got to step up because the entire secondary's hurt right now. Besides you, and then he wanted to pretend he was hurt last night. You saw that, right?
You want to show the Sauce Gardner tackle again, or
we might have to rename him to Soft Gardner.
Yeah, that might be his name, Soft Sauce maybe or something. Like he's just not. He just hasn't been great either. I mean, I think this is the thing. The realization with this team that I've been watching the last 7 weeks is that they're not as good as we thought they were. There's certain positions that we thought were going to be good, like Tyron Smith. We thought he would be a great left tackle. He's not getting it done. AVT is another one. He was a high draft pick for the Jets, constantly getting injured. We saw that happen again last night. I know Morgan Moses is banged up. He hasn't been great. I mean, Joe Tippmann, he's been good. He's been the only good old lineman, to be honest with you.
Gotta love Twin.
Yeah, he's great. Listen, Breece Hall had a good game last night. He's been underwhelming this year. And Aaron Rodgers, like I feel that I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm off the ship by now. I'm done. You're not winning games, and you got the stupid attitude on the sideline. Like, grow up. If you don't want to be here, leave. Like, I don't understand this. Like, no one forced you to play for the Jets. We all know they're a losing organization. It'll never change. That's what they are. They're a bunch of losers. Like, you ever see that group of people in life that you know they can't get out of their own way? This is the Jets. Like, there's no other team in the league that lets a ball hits off a receiver's chest and a guy intercepts it and almost scores a touchdown off of it. I mean, Garrett Wilson catches that. He probably gets like 40 yards. Like, he had the whole field up in front of him. No, the jet bounce, interception. But, like, I don't understand. Like, Aaron Rodgers, you've gotten every single thing you've wanted since you got here, and you sit on the sideline moping around. Like, if you don't want to be here, like, you could just quit now. Just quit now. Go in the woods. Go in your cave. Go whatever you want to do. Just pack it up. Because, like, your attitude is not helping this team. They have no leadership. I mean, I don't want to rip Jeff Ulbrich, but, like, he's in a tough spot. Like, he can't do certain things because, Woody Johnson's going to tell him you can't do that. And he's fighting for a job next year, too. Even if it's not with the Jets, it's with another team. He wants to put something out there. I mean, they're not winning. They're not going to win games. Like, if they lose this week, that's just embarrassing. Like, and I'm sure Drake May's going to go out there and he's going to do well because Drake May is a good player and the Jets just suck right now. And this is the thing, like, everyone's like, oh, I was one of them. I admit it. Robert Saleh, I mean, he probably would have lost the last 2 games anyway because he was a clown. But, like, it just, like, the defense has gotten worse now, too. Like, I know they're injured a little bit, but they don't look prepared. I know last night the offense looked good in the first half. For the last 2 weeks they have. But what, the last 2 weeks they scored 3 points in the second half? Like, that shows that they're not adjusting to what the defense is doing to them. And then the defense on our side just continuing to get torched by the run game. Like, they're not physical. And I know I called out Quinnen Williams last week. He just didn't do anything again. Like, it's just
watched.
It's just so he didn't watch.
Yeah, he didn't write
He
back.
probably doesn't want to hear me just scream about nonsense, right? And I hope Greg DeLay gets cut today. Like, that is again, he gets missed again. I know it got blocked, but like, kick the ball higher. Like, I don't understand why you're kicking it like 2 inches off the ground. Like, I don't want to, like, it's the same thing. You might as well, you can close your eyes. Let's all do it. Close your eyes, right? And just the last 4 weeks, what's the recurring themes? Turnovers, penalties, right? Aaron Rodgers' stupid face on the sideline. Now Nathaniel Hackett's in the booth up there trying to help out the team. He's probably sabotaging the team. Now Todd Downing the last 2 weeks. I mean, he's been good for the first half. You got to be able to adjust. And now we bring in Devontae Adams. Like, I was all hyped last Tuesday when he went on McAfee. He peeked in with Rodgers on the show. 9 targets last night, 3 catches for 30 yards. I know that's partly on Adams because I think he had 1 or 2 drops, but then Rodgers missed him too. So now I want to hear Rodgers' explanation. Oh, we're not on the same page either. Who's not on the right page? Because every receiver is not on your page. That means you're the problem. Like, not every single guy can't be on your page. Like, come on. And, like, you gotta be able to sit there and say, okay, I'm the one screwing up too. Like, you got 7 picks already. I think the most you've had in a season is 13. You're gonna blow that number up. Like, you gotta be honest with yourself too. Like, this Jets team too, they have no direction. They're gonna try to run it back with Rodgers next year, and then what do you do? Because this year they're not gonna make the playoffs. They're 2-5 already. They'll win this week. Everyone will think the season's back on when you have 2 wins against the Patriots.
Maybe the one.
Yeah, maybe at this rate. Yeah, maybe. Then they got the Texans on the short week on Halloween. Texans are one of the best teams in the league. Joe Mixon's running like that. You got C.J. Stroud. That defense too. Rodgers is gonna get sacked like probably 15 times. And then you got the Cardinals coming up after that and the Colts. I wouldn't be shocked if you lose both of those games either. Teams that can run are gonna beat the Jets because they can't get off the field and they're just moping around pathetic individuals. So that's what they are. Like, you gotta be better. Like, it just bothers me because this is the year when I really thought that they would step up and make the playoffs. Like, I'm not saying win the Super Bowl. Just make the playoffs. You haven't made the playoffs in like 14 years. And you just, like, you don't care either. Like, I know I'm a Jets fan, so I can overlook things or, like, read into them too much of, like, oh, this guy doesn't look like this. Like, you can tell, Corey, you watched the game last night. They had no energy. They had no energy.
Second half.
Nothing. Even in the first half, they looked like they were just coasting along. The only time they've won games this year was because their talent rose above the other team. Because they do have talent. We can't deny that. Like, Breece Hall, I feel he's a top 5 running back in the league when he's right, when he's playing well. Garrett Wilson, I feel I said he was a top 15 receiver. I think he's a little lower than that after seeing what he's done this year. Devontae Adams, he just got here, but we know what he can bring to the team. I mean, Alan Lazard, he's been okay, right? He has a lot of touchdowns this year. 5 touchdowns. He probably has more drops, but that's besides the point. But, like, I feel like he's been serviceable as a third guy. Even Mike Williams too. They're not using him the right way, and I hope for his sake that he gets out of this mess and goes to a team that has a chance of making the playoffs. I think he would be perfect for Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think him and George Pickens on the outside with Russ now.
Yeah.
Listen, I think that would be the perfect thing. And hopefully any veteran, they just get him out of New York. Like, just save them. Because this is pathetic. I saw a stat, 48% chance of making the playoffs. Who made that? Who came up with that? Like, you're the 5th pick in the draft right now. You're not making the playoffs. Get out of here. Come on. All right, I'm good.
So how about those Steelers, Corey?
It was an okay game, I gotta say. No, before I get to the Steelers, We're just gonna get kind of the bad out of the way. The Penguins 2-2 this week. They're now 3-4 on the year. Man, they've been very underwhelming this year. Tristan Jarry needs to be in the minor leagues now. I need to be seeing him playing in Wilkes-Barre in whenever their next home game is. Didn't check the schedule. But yeah, they beat the Canadians, beat the Sabres in overtime, which that shouldn't have went to overtime. If Jarry wasn't in net, we would have won that game by a lot more. But Crosby gets career point number 1,600, which is crazy to me that, he's 20 years in. And Malkin as well getting goal number 500. But the problem's just been the defense. I mean, the defense has been just so messy. Many of them just can't defend. And similar to the Jets, they're just playing soft right now. I know they're struggling to hold a lead when they do lead. And goaltending's been an issue too. Obviously, Jarry sucks. I'll say that, till the day I die, that Tristan Jarry, should not be playing in the NHL. Blomqvist has looked solid. Nedeljkovic came in against Winnipeg, but they ran into, a hot Winnipeg team that just ran all over them. UNC was on bye this week, thankfully. So they're playing Virginia next Saturday. And then the Steelers took care of business last night. I sent a text in the group chat. I will not repeat what it says because I was going off on the Steelers in the first half. I thought Russell Wilson needed a pair of bifocals and trifocals because he was missing so many passes. But Soren said, you know what, believe in Russ, let him cook, as Soren has said countless times, and he did. I mean, the second half, I think it was 24 nothing second half run, 31 unanswered, John. It's a lot of points.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of points. They're making Russ look like prime Tom Brady last night. Too,
yeah.
Mr. Unlimited?
Unlimited.
You can ask Vinny when it was what 30-15 in with 2 minutes left and Najee ran for that touchdown. I started jumping up and down celebrating. I was like, let's go. Keep piling up. I wish the offense came back out there and turned it over so the Steelers scored again. Just keep embarrassing them at this point.
But I mean, the defense played superb. Beanie Bishop with those 2 picks. I mean, I know that second one was just kind of lucky off of Garrett Wilson. Block field goal. Side note, I think that leverage call on Fitzpatrick was BS. I don't think he hurdled over TJ Watt. Are you kidding me? After that, I was like, is this how this game is going to go? But yeah, this is a much better offense. I mean, I still like Justin Fields, but I think Wilson allows the offense to open up, which in return kind of opens up the run game a little bit more because you're kind of, or as I've been saying, like a broken record, we won't be so predictable. I was kind of surprised that Arthur Smith was letting Russ throw deep shots downfield. So I'm excited. I mean, they play the Giants next week. We should handle them because if Daniel Jones is still starting, which I think he's still projected to be the starter, he's hot garbage. Yeah. So I think that defense is going to tear him apart next week. That's all I have.
That's all you got?
Yeah.
Alrighty. For once, I'm not going to screw at the Eagles.
Yeah, you're probably the most happy out of everyone today.
Dude,
right?
I'm very satisfied. It looked like they finally clicked. Now, again, it's the Giants. So we'll see what happens when they play someone legit. They have the Bengals next week, so that's going to be a little bit tricky of a game. But Saquon was saying it wasn't a revenge game. He had no hate towards Giants fans, even though they were burning his jerseys. So, in Saquon's not revenge game, what a day. 176 rush yards and a touchdown. He had a field day against them. We were dreaming like, oh, Boston Scott, bring back the Giant Killer. We have Boston Scott, who does it every game instead of just against the Giants. But no, Saquon looked phenomenal as returned to MetLife. Another great performance from A.J. Brown. Especially coming off the injury. I know he played last week. He has looked phenomenal. Hasn't lost a step at all. I know Smith didn't play the greatest game, but in that offense, there's always going to be someone who's kind of left out, and especially with them force-feeding it to Saquon, that was bound to happen. And the defense, 8 sacks. The Georgia Dogs getting active. Nakobe Dean with 2, Carter with 2, and Smith with 2. Bryce Huff gets his first sack. I think his first sack with the Eagles. Josh Sweat and Jalix Hunt getting a sack late in the game. His first sack and tackle of the career. So congrats to him. That's about all I got for football. Oklahoma loses again. They stink. They fired their OC. Joe John Finley is the new offensive coordinator as they face Ole Miss this week at Ole Miss. Yay! At this point, I don't think they make a bowl game at this point. It's just sad. They're 4-3. We have to have 7 wins.
6.
If there's-
We only need 2 more. Maine's 1, so
Maine's
they'll need
1.
more
Okay,
win.
let's see. At Ole Miss, loss. Versus Maine, cool. Cherry pick win. At Mizzou, loss. Bama, I know they lost again, but still Bama. At LSU, we ain't making a bowl game. So shout out to Oklahoma. But switching over to the hardwood, Thunder start their season on Thursday at the Denver Nuggets. High hopes for the squad, but a big loss. Former Knick Isaiah Hartenstein is going to miss the first about 5 to 6 weeks. Has a hand injury. I know that was a big addition for OKC. They kind of got that interior force that they had been missing. So I'm interested to see how the first few weeks go without him. And the Flyers, similar to Oklahoma, stink. Haven't won since the first night. Ersan's been okay. Ivan Fedotov, find a new job. He's played 2 games. One he got pulled early for an empty net. The other one he got pulled after the second period. He has allowed 5 goals in both games.
Kind of like Tristan Jarry.
He is
Pretty much.
He is Swiss cheese. He is what the Jets' offensive line is. Swiss cheese. Sorry, I didn't mean to take a dig at that.
We're still going back
Honestly,
to the Jets.
the more you guys do that, the more it's just gonna get me to like scream again. So if you want that, I mean, we can make it's good ratings, right?
Yeah,
Just
something
keep
like that, yeah.
screaming the whole show. But
John's finally coming back from the IR. He might have to go back on. He's gonna pop a vessel.
Yeah.
Should we go down the alley early? I think we get Soren's take.
yeah,
on
maybe
a
he
little-
can calm me down
yeah.
a little.
Yeah, a little
Yeah,
early.
Or
let's-
he
Alley.
might just make me scream too.
Let's see what
Let's
he
go
says.
down the alley. It's time for Soren's alley. Sauce, you can hop here, buddy. Have a day, Soren. Finally, kind of dressed like a 2K generic character, but how we doing today, buddy?
I'm all right. I'm surprised I'm being on early.
Yeah. Well, I kind of wanted to get your take on the Jets.
You're gonna make or break my mood today. So I'm counting on. I believe in you, Soren. I need you to help me through this right now.
Soren, please.
It's like a little like therapy session for me. So
Okay.
Your mental state's relying.
what do you got
It's an
for me?
issue.
Please help.
I mean, with the addition of Devontae Adams, it kind of did help the Jets a little bit, but I mean, credits to Breece Hall. Like, he did pretty well. I thought that he had a good game, but the Steelers just looked good, unfortunately. But there's not a whole lot I'm really going to say about that game because, I mean, I did watch it. I mean, it was a pretty good game to watch, but like I said, the defense kind of took over for the Steelers, and Jets just fell apart, unfortunately. But
You okay, John?
I just-
Because the fact that he just said that Devontae helped them. They scored 15 points. They scored more points last week without him. I mean, honestly, he could have stayed on the plane too with his Taco Bell sweatpants and hoodie on.
You don't hate on the Taco Bell sweatpants. The
Well, I'm
new
just saying.
chicken cantina
That's what he
Taco
wore.
Bell or whatever it is.
Soren, you didn't
Yeah.
help me. Soren.
Well, him and
Making it worse.
Him and Raj have one in their house together now.
well, it's actually kind of interesting that Rodgers and Adams are like kind of like bonding together because he actually doesn't have a place. Like Adams
No, I
doesn't have a
know,
place to live, so he's
Yeah, they're-
kind of been.
They're best friends. It's not going
Yeah.
to translate. They can't be like the Mets were this year. The power of friendship, like the Knicks.
Maybe one of them have to write a song.
I don't know who's going to do that on that team.
Sauce maybe.
A bunch
Yeah, I was
of,
gonna say,
there are a
who
bunch
did
of
the-
losers on that team. man.
I was gonna say, who do the Jets have next week?
The Patriots.
Yeah, it's
No, that should be a winnable game.
should be being the main
It's
words.
the Jets.
It should be.
Get-
I don't
Look,
see why not.
I can guarantee you right now it's going to be a one-score game in the fourth quarter. I can guarantee it. And they'll probably be losing too. And they'll like need like a game-winning kick to win, to beat like a team that's like probably 1,000 times worse than everyone else in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it'll be the Jets that almost lose to them.
What else you got, Soren?
Well, VT looks good. I saw Thursday night that
Yeah.
they actually played pretty good against Boston College, so I'm actually excited. I'm actually going to go down for a Thanksgiving football game this year.
Oh yeah, who do they got?
Next week they got Georgia Tech.
No, like when you're
When
going,
you're
when you're
going.
Thanksgiving break or whatever.
I was actually just looking at that, and I saw that They might.
Not
I
Mike.
believe it's Duke. They got next week.
That's not next week, Soren.
No, I'm saying like
Wait, what week?
Duke in November.
No, Soren, you're not going to that game either. They play Virginia the week you go. You're going down the Saturday of
November
Thanksgiving, right?
30th, it would
Yeah.
be. Right?
Oh yeah.
So it would be Virginia.
Unless
I
you're
was
going to Duke. Are you going to
No,
Duke?
no, I'm actually going to the Virginia game. My
Yeah.
bad. That's on me. That's on me.
It is. It is, but it's all right. It happens.
Soren, they got 4 wins. They only need 2
Yeah,
more.
they might actually make a bowl game
they'll
this
make
year,
a-
which
they'll
is
make a bowl
good.
game before
Yeah.
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Yay!
Bowl games are important, man.
Yes, they are. They are important. I know that last time we talked, I've barely had to mention a lot about fantasy, but I'm not going to talk about Marywood because I'm kind of doing okay for the most part. But
Okay.
what kind of a little upsets me this week is my other league. I was facing my brother this week, and that did not go well.
I guess we know who the better brother is.
Yeah, for this year. Right now, yeah, I was going to say, I'm looking at the result here. It says 129 to 96 for fantasy. I had Daniels Jaden Daniels is hurt, and I just felt bad for that because he was supposed to ball out against Carolina, but
Yeah, he just got hurt. He would have been fine. He would have put up probably
Mariota
like
did play
30.
well though too.
Yeah, it's a good system they
Yeah.
got.
Mariota.
Yeah, Debo kind of hurt too. But
Yeah, Debo looked like he was gonna puke.
yeah,
or something.
it was another disappointing loss. I'm gonna be 3-4 in that league. So
Any punishment in that league? Frosted tips, shave the stash.
no, but you do get to keep 2 players every single year. So it's a keepers league essentially.
So who do you got on
That
your
would
team?
make sense.
Wait, you have
Um,
Jaden Daniels.
I drafted him this
He
year.
he should
He
be
should
one of
be
the
one
keepers.
of your keepers
Yeah.
for
Yep.
sure. So you probably got him in like the
I-
8th or 9th round.
I believe I kept.
No. I was saying like who's on your team who you could keep for next year. Let me see.
Jaden Daniels should be one.
Jaden Daniels should definitely be one.
Yeah,
Who would you have not spent a high price tag on?
I mean,
There's
there's
your
a
team stinks. Actually, your starting line's good, but like they're all kind of higher draft. Like Mixon was probably like the 3rd round.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of potential for keepers next year.
What round did you draft McLaurin in? Oh, you also have to be sending your taunts, Soren. You got to taunt your brother. Win or lose, you send your taunts on ESPN. Come on, that is what makes ESPN fantasy so much fun this year. That is
It's
the
a great
only
feature.
It is literally the only reason I'm enjoying
Oh,
fantasy.
I know
this year.
who I kept. I kept.
Soren, that's not what I'm asking.
Oh yeah,
I said, what round did you draft McLaurin in?
I
Because that would be a good keeper. Because then you have that.
71st overall.
So 6th or 7th round. What's it, 10 or 12 then?
12.
Okay, so sixth round. And keeping him and Daniels would be good. You have that stack. It seems like they have a really good connection early.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then
It's
you
only
just-
gonna get better.
and then you just build that team around them. So I think you got your keepers for next year, man.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Debo Mixon you spent too high. I wouldn't keep Najee.
No.
Kittle maybe, but
Yeah, Kittle's a maybe, but I kept. I believe I kept Rashid White and Devontae Smith last year.
White's not. Wait, who was the first one?
Rashad White.
Rashad White.
Okay.
Yeah.
Uh,
Might have pronounced his name wrong.
Josh
but that's-
Reynolds. Anything else you have before we send you back down the alley?
Well, everybody was complimenting on my outfit, so I was like, oh, I'm actually wearing something good for once.
I'm
And-
excited.
Your outfit's a boom.
It is a boom. I'm excited to see what you wear next week for a Halloween episode.
Oh, that's right.
What?
Yes, I
Oh,
actually.
he's all
Ooh.
excited now.
I
You saw that?
have. I have my
Oh.
costume ready. Everybody will see it next week. It will be very exciting. So
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, keep it secret.
yes, yeah. I'll
Go,
keep it.
go back
secret.
down
Yep.
your alley, man.
Thank you,
Thanks for
Soren.
coming
Yep.
on, man. It's funny you said boom. I'm looking at this the Jalen Hurts Funko Pop. He's kind of hitting the boom. He's bringing the boom.
There's a lot of booms this week.
There are a lot of big booms. Let's dive into some of the news from around the football world. Look over this weekend. Start with our favorite, at least my favorite game. I know it's starting to become Cam's favorite game. The final one of the year, the Pip Pip Cheerio game of the week. The Jaguars finally getting another victory, and Doug Peterson holding on to his job for another week. Actually looking dominant against a team who they should have looked dominant against, beating up on the Patriots. What do I say? Drake May did look really good. Threw for over 275 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jacksonville also, their defense doesn't exist. So, like, kind of I'm not surprised. But big shouts to Mr. Bigsby. We don't have Bigsy. We have Bigsy here, but they got Bigsby. And he's been a dog. 2 touchdowns, 118 yards this week. I bet that makes John Gruden feel nicey. Have you seen those videos? John Gruden he has to be in like some back corner.
He's being
of,
held
like,
captive.
He's held captive somewhere,
Yeah.
and he's just like tweaking out his CTE show, and he's just reading.
I don't think
stats.
I've seen that.
You gotta. If you haven't seen it, you gotta watch it.
He's got like the whiteboard behind
He
him.
has
Oh,
the
are you talking about like his
stuff on-
QB show?
He's like TikTok. He's on like
his
TikTok, now.
He's like, he'll be like.
No, I haven't seen that.
He's
yeah.
like,
Yeah, it's a
you know
new
what's
thing.
got me feeling nicey when a running back, running backs aren't valued. Mike, what's Ray Davis?
Ray Davis.
20 carries for 87 yards. Got me feeling nicey. Like, it just looks like a complete psychopath. This Seahawks beating up on the Falcons. Michael Penix completed his first career pass.
And that was it.
Get Kirk Cousins out of there. Penix came in. They were down so bad late in the game that they brought Penix in. His first catch to Casey Washington. That's going to be a trivia question at some point.
Yeah.
Some point down the line. But yeah, Seahawks looked really, really good. I'm not high on Seattle. I think Seattle's kind of fraudulent. But they kind of keep proving me wrong each week. They're 4-3 right now. And they beat them on an Atlanta team on the road who is really good. Now, they do have to be concerned because Metcalf did leave the game early. So that's something for fantasy owners to monitor and them as well. Bills beat up on the Titans. I don't think Mason Rudolph has it anymore, man.
I think he should stick to real estate at this point.
Packers gutsy win against the Texans. Shout out Jake Jones. I know he's fired up. How about Josh Jacobs' first receiving touchdown of his career?
We'll get to that. I'm very happy. I just want to say about the Packers, though. I think they have the most potential in the NFC, right? Because we know how good Detroit is. We know like what the 49ers can be. Like we know those teams how good they can be. I don't think people realize how good the Packers can be. And their defense is stepping up, and I think they're going to make a big move at the deadline to help that defense out even more. They're scary. As long as Jordan
They're
Love just
very
cuts
good.
the turnovers down.
We were saying that.
They'll
yesterday.
be
He could
fine.
a superstar.
Like yesterday, he threw 2 picks. They still won the game. Like just cut that out. Just no stupid mistakes.
Yeah.
They'll be-
Well, I feel like they're
they're
flying under
scary.
the radar a little bit for
Yeah.
being a 5-2 team. Like I don't
Yeah.
think they get talked about enough.
I think the one thing they have to do, because they kind of switch around with who they go to a lot. Yesterday it was Dobbs. Reed's gotten involved for a few big games.
They got a bunch
Watson.
of guys.
They have a lot of very good number 2 type receivers. I think
Yeah.
if they could get a true number 1, that would put them over the edge. And they would it's probably something they do this offseason.
Yeah.
Whether
yeah,
it be
definitely.
through the draft or whether they go out and sign or trade or whatever it is, if they bring in a true receiver, I think there's no more, they're flying under the radar. It's now their legitimate team. Because even at 5-2, like you said, they are very underrated.
Yeah, and you got to think Malik Willis is probably the unsung hero of the year because
Yeah,
he kept that team.
he kept that team afloat while
Yeah.
Love was out.
Yeah.
And he did a good job too.
He
It's
did.
not like he just kept them at playing 500 ball. Like he's the reason why they're playing so well. Now the big thing to monitor is almost none of them have played division games. The Packers have won.
Yeah.
The Lions had one yesterday. Bears have not had any. Vikings have had 2. So once all those teams start running into each other, they all have winning records at the moment. It's gonna get very interesting because division games are always tough to predict.
Yeah.
You see how well all 4 of these teams are performing, makes it even harder. I know the Lions, gutsy win in Minnesota. My favorite place. Never been there. Probably never will be, but love Minnesota.
Go to the mall there. There's like the
the
Oh,
Mall
yeah,
of
yeah,
America, yeah.
Yeah, but handing Minnesota their first loss of the year. Minnesota still looks great, though. I still think, as Cam mouthed something over there, I still think Minnesota has a lot left in the tank. I think playing a great game against the Lions, that's not going to change the outlook of the rest of the year. I think KOC is making Sam Darnold look like a genius. And guess what? Hawkinson's due back soon. You're adding another phenomenal weapon to an offense that has been thriving. Rams, boring win over the Raiders. Who cares?
There's some people that cared about that. Me. I'm just saying.
No, I couldn't care less. Colts. Man, Anthony Richardson. Pro-ready quarterback.
Wow.
I was right. I was right all along.
Well, just wait. The next 2 games after it'll be 2 to 3 interceptions again. I'm predicting that.
Get Joe Flacco back on the field.
Yeah,
I know.
You know who could use Joe Flacco? Cleveland Browns. Deshaun
yeah.
Watson getting hurt in that game. DTR, the leading rusher of the game. 44 yards on 3 carries. who also got hurt.
Yeah, I was gonna say he got hurt too because
Yeah.
Jameis came in.
Yeah. I love the Myles Garrett quotes about Deshaun Watson. He's been a great guy in college and most of the NFL.
Says the guy that
And-
almost killed somebody with his own helmet. So
Yeah, Bengals looked awful yesterday. They
Yeah.
didn't look good. You got to talk to Twin, bro. Your Twin. He needs to figure it out.
Yeah, like the last 2 weeks they won, but they haven't. They're not.
And again, Barrow always struggles in Cleveland. I don't know what it is.
yeah,
Like,
wasn't that his first win
In
in
Cleveland.
Cleveland?
in
I think.
Cleveland, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's something to look at. Cincinnati is 3-0 on the or 3-1 on the road. So if they start winning these home games, they'll be fine. And like having that good of a road record, I still think they're not where they want to be. They're not going to win the division. But the way that they are trending, if they keep playing like that, they'll grab a wild card spot or at least be in the mix. The Commanders, I don't even know what the Panthers were, but Commanders taking care of business even without Daniels, with our favorite backup quarterback, John Mariota.
Mr. QBR himself. Oh,
We got breaking news. Do we have breaking news?
is it?
A
Is
little
it
bit
break-
of both. A little bit of both. A little bit of banter, but a little bit of
Okay.
both. Okay, so like, did you mention Jaden Daniels yet?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I did some digging. I forget the guy from ESPN his name, but they just tweeted out, like, a couple people have been talking about it, but no initial fractures yet. So that's obviously a good thing. Nothing else really has come out. There's going to be a lot more tests today, but it should be fine. Like
Yeah.
structurally and around his ribs, he should be fine. Whether it could be a lung issue,
Yeah.
whatever. And then banter of the day. In their past 4 games, the Detroit Lions have scored more touchdowns than Jared Goff has had incompletions. That's my MVP. He better be in the MVP race by the end of the year.
He will not be because it's Jared Goff. But he is balling out. That also has John Gruden feeling nicey. I know he was going crazy when Goff had the perfect game. But that was the one big concern with Daniels is him having such a small frame. What happens when he takes a big hit? And he
Yeah.
showed that, man. I think that's almost all. And then the Chiefs beat up on the Niners. Mahomes still doing like
Yeah. And Purdy. I'm sorry, that one red zone interception, like, just take the field, like, take the sack and just go for 3, because I think they would have cut it to like 8, and he tries to force.
me. Take the freaking points.
Yeah, take the points, bro.
Listen,
And then, like, I see on Fox Sports, I get a notification, Mahomes magic on his one, like, rush. I'm like, bro, they're afraid to hit him because they're going to get called for a penalty.
yeah,
Like, sorry, but most overrated 6-0 team. I'm sorry.
they're overrated and they'll win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I
too,
know,
'cause they're just
somehow.
that.
They
I know.
keep finding ways to win, but a big hit for the Niners. They are fearing that Brandon Ayuk tore his ACL,
Yeah, that's
Um,
unfortunate.
and odds are that's gonna usually when they fear usually ends up being true.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet, but Kyle Shanahan, there's a quote talking about it
More or less
this morning. Yeah, and then also, you didn't mention it, but Aiden O'Connell got hurt yesterday.
Not AOC, man.
Yeah,
Bears.
4 to 6 weeks likely.
Oh,
to be out.
Minshew back.
So
Oh, no.
Minshew show is
Oh
back.
no!
Oh, no.
The Raiders season is so derailed now. What
I mean,
will they
like,
do?
look, like if Max Crosby wants to come over to the Lions, we can give him Hendon Hooker and maybe.
I mean, yeah, I think Hendon Hooker, he'd be a quarterback.
I know, but like
he'd be better than what the Raiders have
Max
displayed
Crosby,
so far.
yeah.
And then last night we already talked about it from both sides. A beautiful day at Acrisure Stadium.
The steel curtain.
Yeah, but we got a little double trouble tonight. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's switch over. Actually, before we switch over, I do want to talk about in the Eagles game. They benched Dable benched Daniel Jones later in the game. They were down by like 25 points. There's only a few minutes left. It's not something totally unusual, but there was rumors that Daniel Jones was frustrated for being benched. He got sacked 7 times. I don't know how many more hits you want to take. I'd be like, I'll take the rest of the day off. Like,
Probably couldn't even feel it anymore. He was like, nice.
there was rumors that he was very frustrated with the benching.
Okay, well,
we
he's
also-
garbage
Well,
right
we
now.
al-
So.
yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
also
no,
know like he's not like Dable didn't pick him.
No,
Da-
he doesn't.
Dable-
he
Dable
doesn't
has
like-
no
he
connection
doesn't-
with him.
He doesn't like him. We all know that.
Let's switch over to the collegiate scene. A lot of good games. The big one being Georgia versus Texas, and the Horns. They're down this week as Georgia picked up a dominant victory. They benched Quinn Ewers for it's like a drive or 2. They didn't bench him for long. I don't understand the process. Was they trying to spark something? Because they said like Urs is going to be the starter going forward.
Yeah, they I guess they thought maybe before the half that Arch can go in there and do something, but there was one I saw like a picture of like Quinn and Arch sitting next to each other on the bench, both looking like they were like seeing ghosts out there, and there was like this is what the Georgia defense does to you, and they both were like that. They were just they were.
It might have been the same picture, but I saw a picture of Arch, and it's saying about how the Manning face runs in the family.
I do want to pull this. I want to pull this side by side up. Trevor Etienne, younger brother of Travis, had 3 touchdowns in the game. That is more touchdowns than Travis Etienne has all year. Go Tank Bigsby. What a dog. But another big game, another big upset. The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Give me the Tide.
Roll Tide. Except no, let's not roll Tide. Tennessee taking care of business. They roasted this one kid. There's a tradition with the Bama Georgia game. Whoever wins, the winning team usually smokes cigars, like the fans and everything.
I did see the clip
and
of
the kids lighting a cigar in the fan section, and the announcer's like, "Yeah, you must not be like an age restriction or something." I'm like, "Damn, I violated this kid for enjoying a victory." Miami in a shootout against Louisville. One of our Moi Goi Hall of Famers having himself a game. Cam Ward. 4 tuds, 319 yards. Our other Hall of Famer, Ashton Genty, had a little bye week. Kind of sad. I miss our boy.
He's got to rest.
Got to rest the legs up. Yeah, he's got to be ready to go for the stretch run now.
He's only carrying it 30 times a game.
Then again, he probably scored 4 touchdowns on the bye week.
LSU going down to Arkansas, easy win. BYU escaping Oklahoma State. They coming down to the final minutes to win that game. I think BYU is still really, really good though.
Iowa State too. That's going to be. They're both in the Big 12. They might play each other.
Run into each other.
Yeah.
Or do they play each other? Could be.
They might. How about Indiana, dude? Who would have thought the Indiana Hoosiers would be 7-0?
I love the coach too. He's great.
Yeah. What did he say? If you Google me, like, I win.
They kept asking him like, how are you gonna like change the roster? Because there was like a bunch of guys that left from the previous team. And he's like, just Google me, I win. He really has won at every like school he's been at.
Yeah.
And if you look like, I'm not scared of. Besides Ohio State, I'm not scared of anyone else that play. Washington, I feel like they're way better than Michigan State. At Michigan State's a little trappy.
Yeah.
Michigan stinks. Michigan is trash.
They stink.
And then Purdue's not good. So the Ohio State game's the only tricky one. And I think if they beat Ohio State, dude, that is going to be mania. But the new rankings came out. Oregon moving up to the 1 spot. Georgia moving to the 2 after a big victory. Texas falling 4 spots. Bama down to 15. And
Good.
We'll talk about.
Finally.
We're joking about it. Indiana. Who would have thought, ever in our existence, and like our minds, but especially this season, who would have thought Indiana would be higher ranked than Alabama? I can tell you for sure it was not me. Pitt moving up to 19-6-0. What is? I don't understand Pitt, man. I don't know. They shouldn't be good, but they are. Army Navy still ranked, and Vandy grabbing the final spot in the rankings. Who did they play this week?
It was like Ball State or something.
They didn't even like.
They didn't
even like handle Ball State. They just play up. They're going to be out of the rankings next week.
They got Texas off a loss. Over.
Oh my God, they're going to get destroyed. But they might get a bowl game, dude. They have a lot of tough. They would have to win 2 more. No, 1 more, because it's 6, right?
Yeah, they got 5 wins.
Yeah, it's 6. Yeah, they got 1 more.
But, like, none of these games are easy. Texas at Auburn, South Carolina at LSU versus Tennessee. But we've seen they've already upset teams. They held their own against Mizzou earlier in the year. So I don't think these ranked games, like, Vandy could be playing spoilers. And if they won enough of these games, could we see a Vandy playoff run?
I mean, that would be
Vandy
wild.
playoff run would be crazy.
I think if they had to win 1 game, I think it'd be at Auburn, but because it's of how good, South Carolina's been. They're 4-3, but they've been playing much better than 4-3 this year.
Well, let me ask then. Of the 3 ranked games, so Texas at LSU, and then the final game versus Tennessee, if you had to pick them to win 1 game, which one would it be?
Tennessee.
You think?
I don't think Tennessee's that great.
Nico didn't look good.
No, he didn't. This was the first time I really like sat down and really watched him play from like the first quarter to the end of the game. I wasn't impressed. Their defense is very good though. Give them that. But like I don't think that. And Vandy, they could score too. So like that wouldn't be. I mean, Tennessee has a good defense, but if an offense is like that, they can
Yeah.
they can win.
I think what helps Tennessee is, their run game with
Yeah.
Dylan Sampson, I think.
I think if Texas wasn't coming off a loss,
Then I would say
I
that,
would say
but they're-
Texas, but there's no shot they lose 2 in a row.
Mhm.
If it wasn't at LSU, I'd feel a little more confident. But I think LSU is going to have one of those fluky losses, which sucks because they've been so good since losing week 1. But I think that's going to be their downfall.
I'm a number 1 hater of LSU. Yeah, so I hope,
Fair, man.
hopefully the next few weeks they take a nice L.
But big game for Notre Dame this weekend against
Yeah.
Navy.
It's gonna be good, yeah. At MetLife, unfortunately, so hopefully no one breaks their knee in half. But
Someone probably will.
probably
Illinois versus Oregon. That'll be. I think it's a tricky spot for Oregon, man. Illinois is coming off a big win. I know Michigan's kind of crappy, but Illinois still they're still coming off a ranked conference win. Mizzou Bama is a good game. We mentioned Texas and Vandy. Oh, Miami versus Florida State. What many thought would be a great game at this point in the year. Florida State has to, I think, win 5 of 6 to make a bowl game at this point. That's
Listen, how many yards is Cam Ward going to throw this game?
let's set the line over under 325.
he might be under because they'll be winning by so much.
Yeah, they're gonna. They're gonna pull
Hopefully.
Hopefully, they're probably gonna give him the the Ashton Genty
No.
treatment and pull him by halftime. LSU A&M's a good game. Oh, that's a good. It's at our favorite field.
Oh,
John.
let's go, Kyle Field.
Yeah,
Dude, I'm a big Texas A&M. Oh, this is great. LSU can lose this week and Texas A&M wins. That's what I want to see.
You know what else it is? SMU and Duke. I know Duke isn't ranked, but this is a tricky spot. It's in Duke. Both are 6-1. And Malik Murphy, quarterback for Duke, former Texas Longhorn. He's looked solid this year, man. 14 touchdowns, 5 picks, 1,500 passing yards. This could be a good spot. Maybe he's the next Duke quarterback to go to Notre Dame.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. It's time to freak out a little bit. Time for some fantasy freakouts. That is so freaking loud, man. I'll kick us off. Not happy this week with fantasy. I have one guaranteed win, which is nice. It's in our league. But I'm looking like I'm probably going to lose the other 2 leagues. Kareem Hunt did really help me out in one of my leagues, 22.3 points. So giving me a chance in my main money league. In that league, though, I need Tua to get back. They keep saying, he's rumored where he could come back next week. Probably not going to. Probably will at least be another week or 2. I need him, though, because I have Achane and Hill. And Snoop Huntley and let Tim Boyle. It's not it. I need at least competent quarterback play. I know Tua's brain is mashed potatoes, but I need him back out there. Hunter Henry really building a connection with the rookie quarterback Drake May. 17.2 points with no touchdown too, just purely catches and yards. Aaron Jones, as per usual, great. Got to shout out kickers. I know you had it, Brandon Aubrey. And he's been one of the better kickers this year. I haven't really had a lot of kicker success. I've been all right. But Will Reichert of the Vikings and Austin Seibert of the Commanders, both giving me over 16 points. And Denver's defense having a field day against the New Orleans Saints and former Sooner Spencer Rattler. QB1 on the Netflix show. And then I had Debo and Jaden Daniels in one of my leagues. That's kind of what screwed me. Both left the game early with injuries. Hopefully neither of them it's long term, but it kind of screwed me over. Let's go to you, Corey. How are we doing in fantasy?
So I'm looking 1-1 this week. In my high school league, I'm losing by 3, but I have Lamar, Mike Evans, and Justin Tucker tonight, so that's a guaranteed. That I'm projected to win by 30, and I'll move to 5-2. For the Marywood League, it was all right. I mean, I saw production from Mixon, 26.4. Like we said before, A.J. Brown had another good game, 19.9. And Geno Smith played good as well. I had Fields. Obviously, he didn't start, so I put in Geno Smith. Other than them, that was really it. I mean, Diggs was a disappointment at 7.3. Mooney was underwhelming again. And I'm playing Wiggs this week, and I think he has 3 or 4 guys playing tonight, so I'm going to need a miracle. So I'm probably going to fall to 2-5, and I still have hope I'm not going to get frosted tips.
Oh, I'm praying for frosted. I think Frosted Tips would be so funny. Well, maybe that's what one of our pick fives could be. Is top 5 fantasy punishment.
Oh, that is a good one. Yeah.
I know a couple of our buddies have asked, like, "Hey, can they come on for a fantasy punishment?" We just haze them. I'm pondering. I'm pondering about that. But yeah, maybe we'll make that a pick 5. Maybe we can go down Soren Alley and he can give us some ideas. John, what about you? How did your fantasy week shake out?
Right now, I got the one guaranteed win in my other league, not the Marywood League. Well, right now, yeah, I'm up by 1, but I think who am I playing? I forget. Oh, Kuz. Yeah, he got Dicker tonight, so I'm sure he'll get more than.
He's Tucker.
Oh, Tucker.
Yeah.
So I'm facing Dicker in another league then.
Yeah.
I think. Oh, it's Tucker. Yeah, I'm sure he'll get 2 points. So
He
that'll
doesn't-
be a loss.
He needs 1 point.
Yeah, that'll be. I just lose every week in that Marywood League. I just lose close games. Somehow I have 3 wins.
Look, when it comes down to differential at the end of the year, you'll probably get it.
I'm super close with like points for it,
Yeah.
points against that. That league, Devontae and Monty only combined for 14. I know Monty got hurt for a little bit, so that kind of took away from his carries, I would assume. And my other league are going to improve to 3 and 4. So by the end of this week, both teams will be 3 and 4. But I feel better about my other league because I feel like Josh Jacobs, that touchdown yesterday, is going to get him going now. He'll be good for a while. Gibbs, of course, he's a monster. I had the trio of Gibbs, Jacobs, and Jefferson combining for over 70 points. So I hope that continues. Right now, up by 30, and I have 4 more guys to play, so I got to just keep going, just pound away there. And Trevor Lawrence, I picked him up this week. I think I might stick with him, or only play like Dak on away games, and then use Trevor when Dak's home because I feel like
yeah.
Doesn't play well.
Yeah, because
He
we
doesn't play good at
don't
home.
call the Cowboys the Dallas Cowboys. They're just the Cowboys.
the Cowboys,
now, like-
yeah, or like wherever city they're going to. So like who they playing this week, the Cowboys.
Giving us-
Oh, I think it's Sunday night, 49ers.
Yeah.
They're the San
Oh, yeah.
Francisco
yeah, they're the
Cowboys.
San Francisco
this week.
Cowboys. Yeah.
Yeah, so I still probably won't play him this week. Depends on the Jaguars. The Jaguars play this week?
I think
haven't
no one's
looked.
on bye.
Oh, okay,
I
so
don't
they
know who
play.
they play, but yeah, they play.
Yeah, so I might stick with Trevor this week.
Um,
He played good. He had 15 points. I mean, if I win, I win. So
as I'm looking at like the scoring in our league, I'm surprised Soren didn't freak out more. I mean, he's projected 150 points. He has 81 and has 4 players left. David Njoku went for 24 points. Amon-Ra went for 25. He also had Austin Seibert. Like, how are you not fired up? You were so calm. You're like, I think my fantasy team's doing all right. Like, dude, what are you talking? I mean, Ben's also might as well be projected negative at this point. Projected 74 points.
our league's a mess, though. There's so many teams
There's
that are
so
like,
many 3 and
it's just-
3 teams.
yeah,
dude.
it's-
I think a lot of us are just banged up with injuries, like my team, especially those first.
Speak to yourself, bucko.
How about you be quiet?
Luckily, I am not going to lose to Collie Bear because if I had lost, I would have lost to all the former or current Marywood Pacers baseball players, and I would have been very, very depressed. But luckily, going to move to 4 and 3 in that league because I do not want to get buzz cut or frosted tips. That would suck.
I think Ben wants frosted tips.
Oh, dude, Ben with frosted tips would be so funny.
he told me if the Yankees win, he's going to do it anyway.
Oh, really?
That's what he
All
told
right,
me.
maybe we'll get Ben.
Right, Ben?
Ben Mullet.
Oh,
Ben Mullet. Ben with no eyebrows. Ben switches his major to computer science. All right, let's move on to our next segment. It is time for Moi Goi of the week.
Wait, is that your Goi?
No, I thought that was your Goi.
No, that's
Moi Goi of the
week.
This week, I think this is the first time we've done this. We all have college players. John, why don't you start with your Goi?
Yeah, I got Kyle Manungai, not Moi Goi, Manungoi. He's just been awesome for Rutgers this year, and I don't hear the end of it from my roommate, Matt Wiggs. I mean, I like him, though. He's going to be a good player in the NFL, I think, too. This week, 106 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. He's really been Rutgers' only offense. They're 4 and 3, and if they didn't have him, they probably wouldn't even win a game. He's just been that good. I just think, listen, Rutgers wins 2 more games behind the legs of Manungai. They'll be a bowl team. So, short and sweet for him today.
Okay. Well, I'll go to the other side, to the team they lost to this week. I'll go with UCLA's quarterback Ethan Garbers. Garbers has been awful. This UCLA team has been awful. But they were at Rutgers, right? And a road game at Rutgers picks up a big victory. I know Rutgers defense is trash, but still threw for about 84% completion rate, 383 pass yards and 4 touchdowns, and then added about 50 rush yards and another touchdown. Again, I'll also keep it short and sweet. But go Garbers. Sorry, Matt Wiggs. Happens. Go Ruck. Ruck basketball coming up soon.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get into some college basketball, right, next week?
Once the season
Or the
rolls,
week
we'll
after,
go.
whenever. No, it starts in like 2 weeks.
Yeah, we can start talking about it a little.
I'm excited.
That's
yeah.
crazy. It's coming up that fast.
It's-
Jeez.
It is.
I'm fired up.
flying.
Oh yeah.
I'm
Fired up.
Pacers basketball comes. Commentary soon?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
excited.
Yeah.
So excited. Corey, who is your Goy?
So Moi Goi of the week, Bashal Tootin. Rudy Tootin, as I said in the to you. The running back for Soren's Virginia Tech Hokies, 18 carries, 266 rushing yards, 4 total touchdowns. They beat up on BC 42-21. One of his touchdown runs, 83 yards. And he's already in 7 games, already 871 total rushing yards this year. Maybe a little bit of a Gene T.
A little bit. I don't know what it is this year. The running backs have been insane.
They're
Like
great,
Amari
man.
Hampton for UNC, like he was one of the higher projected ones in the draft, and he's been quiet and he's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
But no, Rudy Tootin's been great. Monongai's been great. Ashton Genty, the leader in Heisman votes right now. Like he's projected to win. I don't know what it is. The running backs have been Etienne as well. Like they've all been so good this year. I feel like this is a really rare year for running backs.
I don't know if it's because the teams just can't stop the run this year.
Maybe that's what
Because
it is.
Tootin's 83-yard rushing touchdown, I mean, he had so much open field to run. I was watching the highlight. I was like, okay, like, where's the defense?
No, but the fact that we're about midway through the college season, we already have 2 1,000-yard rushers. I know Bryson Daly's a quarterback, but Army doesn't throw the football. He's almost at 1,000. Hampton's at 900 yards. Rudy Tootin's just under 900. Monongai's at 850. You mentioned Dylan Sampson. Like, there's a lot of really good backers this year. Daly almost became the 3rd Hall of Fame member for Moi Goi. I was really, really, really close to picking him this week because I will give him a quick little shout out before we move on. Another great
Moi
week.
Goi last week.
He was your guy. He had 5 rushing touchdowns this week. He ran for 171.
I was gonna pick him again, but I'm like,
171 yards, 5 rushing touchdowns, and threw another one. I mean, it was ECU, so like John probably could have did that as well.
yeah, but God bless America.
God bless America.
Yeah,
What-
don't doubt me. I can run.
You can move.
Oh yeah.
Oh wait, we forgot to mention it earlier. I'm happy that we didn't move on. So the big thing that came out of college this week, amid all the upset, all the rankings, all that, Arizona State's head coach, what's his name? Ken Dillingham. After the game, ASU had they had a really ugly loss, mainly because their kicking was so bad. He said our kicking was atrocious, and he said that if you are interested in kicking, please contact him. Send him an email, and that they're having tryouts today. So we might have to hop on the first flight to Arizona and go out for those tryouts because who knows? Maybe we get a job on a D1 college football team. I think Soren would be a good kicker.
Soren gets a little walk on.
Soren, how far do you think you can kick a field goal?
25, 30 yards.
Okay, so you can make the PAT. Which look, I think that's it. That's what they struggled
That's
with.
all they need. Yeah,
That's all
I think they
need.
had 2 missed
Yeah, I wanna-
extra points this week
Let's see.
against the
They
Bearcats.
No, Ian Hershey made both extra points,
Oh, yeah.
missed 2 field goals.
That's what it was, 2 field
I want
goals.
to see
Yeah.
how far the field goals on the miss were.
I think they were like 40. I know one of them was 48. I don't know what the other one was. There was a couple.
Let's see. So missed field goal, 48 yards, and then another one, literally back-to-back drives, 41.
Yeah.
So if we get a 40-something yard field goal, we might get a job with the Sun Devils. We'll have to wait and find out. Might have to go see if we could do that.
And the weather it's hot down there, but the weather is nice down there.
The weather outside is frightful.
Beautiful.
It is beautiful.
Much better than
The weather
cold.
the weather outside is frightful.
I forget.
And the fire
Oh,
is
the
so
fire.
delightful. And if you know a place to go, let it snow.
Let it snow.
No, don't let it snow. I hate the cold. With the NBA around the corner, Corey, this was your week for Pick 5. What do we have on tap for this week?
So, since the season's starting, and this is going to be inside the NBA's last season because the NBA is stupid and all they want is money. Top 5 inside the NBA moments. This is just my opinion. So, Number 5, the classic 1-2 back to 1. So I'm going to just kind of give context for each of these. So during a segment, they had like 3 minutes on the clock, and they were talking about the Trailblazers and Nuggets, and Chuck, Kenny, Shaq, they all had about a minute to talk. Chuck talked, Kenny talked, and then he was going to kick it to Shaq, and then Charles interrupted it because he wanted to add more, and he only gave Shaq like 30 seconds, and Shaq got so annoyed. I mean, he's like, we should have added 9 minutes when you're going 8 minutes repeating your damn self, and then calls him Mr. Sensitive, and then that's when he says his iconic, well, it should be 1-2-3, not 1-2 back to 1. And that gets me like every single time. So number 4, this was way back before Shaq joined, 2008, Kenny jumping over a car. So during EJ's Nito stat of the night, the crew was showing Kobe Bryant a clip of Kenny recreating his commercial when he jumped over the Aston Martin, which obviously was real. And Kenny puts on his own Nike shoes, and when he tries to hop over the car, he literally gets blasted by the car. And just one shoe is left on the road. And the best is when they cut to like an instant replay and Ernie's like driving. Like he's trying to aim at Kenny. But yeah, the crew was dying laughing on that one. Number 3, the top 3 are like the 3 clips that I like always go back to. Number 3 is Charles' steam room bracelet. So the crew was kind of egging Kenny to ask him about the bracelet Charles was wearing, and he revealed that he got it from a guy in a steam room in Arizona. And so he was telling the story, and when he was done, and they were all laughing, Charles was like, hey, you can't make me feel bad. Our towels were on. And then he said, and he goes, hey, man, whatever your name is, thank you for the bracelet. And then Kenny's like, wait, you don't know his name? And then they all just lost it. Number 2, this is probably the most iconic of the show, probably what Charles Barkley's most known for. Number 2, big old women down in San Antonio. Over the years, obviously, he's made repeated jokes about the women in San Antonio. Some of them, oh, my God. I'm just going to leave it there at that point.
Oh, Lord.
And number 1, this is my favorite. Back in 2018, the Rockets and Clippers got into a little bit of a altercation, like at the tunnel in the locker room. So LAPD was called and present because the Rockets didn't like the Clippers' attitude. So Shaq and Charles were kind of poking fun as if like the Clippers called the police. So Shaq is like, hello, police. Chris Paul tried to beat me up. Charles like, hey, this is Blake Griffin. Chris Paul tried to get in the locker room. Get down here and save me. So, but yeah, that's my top 5 this week.
It's such a shame that they're getting rid of that.
I know.
It's such a good show. What's the reasoning behind it? Like, obviously you said money. Like, what is the reasoning?
Well, they're not on TNT anymore, or going to be.
What are they going to be on?
It's NBC they're going to. So like
No,
NBC,
it's Amazon.
Amazon, yeah, and NBC too.
Oh, really?
Like
Yeah.
NBC got their own deal, and obviously ESPN will always have basketball. But
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Freaking Amazon.
I mean, they
dude.
can always like recreate it, but like that's not gonna be.
Yeah,
the
well, I
same.
think
Look,
Charles said he
no,
was trying to recreate on his own
Yeah.
Yeah.
company.
They all
It's
But
not
it's
gonna
not
be the
gonna
same though.
work.
I know,
Yeah.
like from like context purposes, Amazon, it was like $3 billion they bought, like tried to buy it for. TNT then matched it.
Yep.
Amazon then went to all like the inside NBA guys, so Shaq, Charles, all those guys, offered them the exact same thing, but to do it on Amazon, they all turned it down and said no, and they said TNT is for the people.
Can Amazon
They
stick
matched-
to just sending packages?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
I
just-
know.
They,
Come
they're
on,
trying to
dude.
expand a little too much.
First
I
they
don't
ruined
want-
Thursday Night Football, and now they're
Yeah.
ruining the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, Ernie's so loyal to Turner, he wants to stay. So
Yeah. It sucks, man. But like we said, NBA is starting up soon. WNBA just finished last night. Shout out to the New York Liberty.
yeah.
New York.
Yeah,
New York is on fire right now.
The only thing that will ever be won in the Barclays Center. So good for them. I mean, I'm not like
big
a.
shouts to them though, man.
Yeah, Anescu went crazy the whole
Dog.
series.
Oh.
I mean, they were a good team. Now I knew they were.
They were the top team in the.
Yeah, they were expected to win. I don't watch much WNBA, but I know that I've heard a lot about them from like the sports talk shows I watch and everything. They got
Yeah.
a lot of recognition. So
Yeah.
Good for them.
OT victory, nothing easy, but
Oh.
let's switch over to the NBA, kicking off tomorrow
yeah.
evening with your New York Knicks against. No one's a Celtics fan in here, right? If
No.
you support the Celtics, to leave. The reigning, defending, undisputed NBA champions of the world, Boston Celtics. Should be an absolute game. John, how are you feeling? I know you talked about it a little bit, but like with Cat, with Bridges, how are you feeling with not the New York Knicks, the new look Knicks?
New look, yeah. Listen, this is the thing that I feel I'm over it now. Like, but I know there's other Knicks fans. Even like my little brother was a little iffy about in the beginning how they got rid of DiVincenzo and like how Randall was the guy that basically got them to this point. But if you think about it, they never had anyone close to a star for a good stretch. Randall was like, you know what, I'll do it. He got in there, brought the team to a good point. But there also comes to, like, after the last year, you knew, like, that team needed something else. Cat is the perfect guy for that. I just saw Deshaun Watson out for the year. And then Cat and Bridges, too. I know he changed his jump shot for some reason. I don't know why he would do that. But he hasn't looked great. So hopefully that doesn't translate into these games because we need him. But I know him and OG will be great for defense and just shooting 3-pointers. That's it. That's all they need from them. I think Brunson's playoff play will be throughout the whole regular season. Because if you guys remember, like, we all thought he was good last year in the beginning of the regular season, but he not to this point. So I think he'll be fine. But I think tomorrow night would be the perfect way to put the NBA on notice that the Knicks are really for real. Go out there, beat they're the favorite. I would assume, right? The Celtics again.
Yeah, one of.
Yeah, I
least
know
in
the
the-
Knicks
at
are
least in
top
the
three.
East, yeah.
I think it's Knicks, Celtics, and Thunder. I'm pretty sure. That's dude, Knicks and Thunder in the finals.
Knicks and Thunder would be sick, dude.
Yeah.
I would be so excited. I got news. I just saw this. Chris Middleton expected to miss the season opener on Wednesday against the Philadelphia 76ers. The other game tomorrow night, Minnesota. The Timberwolves with Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo heading in to Los Angeles to face the Lakers with Bronny James.
He's not gonna play tomorrow.
He's not going to play ever. He stinks.
Well, maybe tomorrow they'll like throw him in there for like 2 minutes. Oh, he played with his dad. Where is their G League team located? Can we find that out?
South Beach, I think.
He can.
So there's right there.
He should get the reps in.
I am curious. I mentioned Middleton. I'm looking at this Sixers-Bucks game. Almost all the big names are game time decisions. Middleton's out, as they haven't updated that on ESPN yet. Brook Lopez, game time decision. Damian Lillard, game time decision. Now it says rest for a lot of these guys where they didn't play a few days ago.
It's probably because of the preseason.
Yeah.
They didn't update it.
I
hope so.
PG might not play though.
Oh no, he got hurt.
He's
He hurt
probably
his
not
knee.
going to play.
Oh.
JoJo, he has some limitations. I'm assuming they'll probably have him start the first game.
Yeah.
And our favorite TikTok star, John, Jared McCain. Not Josh. No,
No,
not
no,
Josh.
no.
Dude, I do want to say, I won't talk about Josh Giddey, but I will talk about Lonzo, dude.
Yeah,
How
he's
about
back.
He
Good
is
for
back
him.
for the first time in like 2.5 years, and I couldn't be more excited.
He's the only one I like out of that whole, like his dad and his brothers. He's the only one I
Yeah.
like.
You don't like Lamelo?
No, he's a showboat. I'm not into that. Like you,
You
just go out there.
don't
and
like
play.
how the Hornets announcer Lamelo.
He's great.
Yeah.
That guy's great.
LaMelo Ball.
Terry two beauties. But no, seriously, Lonzo being back is sick. Dude, it starts the season against his former team, the New Orleans Pelicans.
Oh yeah.
It should be very, very fun. As Cam said, Josh Giddey's first game as a Bull, which honestly I think this is where he's going to thrive. In Oklahoma City, they drafted him to be like a kind of like a point guard, even though he played the two. But like once Shea started really becoming a superstar, Giddey can't play off the ball. He
No.
needs to be a ball dominant guy. So he's going to play a role as probably a bench player. Come on when White and Ball need a break. But I think Giddey is not a terrible player. He just wasn't in the right fit in Oklahoma City. He definitely needs to develop that jump shot. But how about the Clippers starting their season in their new arena, the Intuit Dome? Dude, I don't know if you've seen any of that. That place is sick.
Yeah, it's
They-
really cool.
Bomber's really he's balling out. I'm interested to see how the Clippers are in the post Paul George era.
I don't think too good.
I think they'll still be fine. I think with Harden and Kawhi, if they play enough games, they'll be fine. I think Norman Powell is still a dog.
Who?
But they start with the Suns though, which I was saying, and I know Team USA compared to the Suns is a little bit different. In Phoenix, Booker has to be the superstar. But the way that he played defense and really stepped up for Team USA, if he's able to do that, I think there's no... Again, he probably won't be able to do it, play as well of defense as he did. But if he's able to step up like that, I think he could be in the MVP conversation. We'll have to wait and see. Speaking of MVP conversation, let's put a stamp in at 11:10 on October 21st. Who is going to be the NBA MVP? John, I'll let you start.
I think Ant-Man is going to win the MVP this year. I think he's going to take what he did with Team... I know it's Team USA. We talked about it a lot. Like, you got to take it with a grain of salt. But I feel you saw right out, he has the confidence. There's no one that has that confidence that he's just like, I'm the best player on this team when you got LeBron, Curry, and he gave them their props. But he's like, I'm the guy. Like, I think he's going to go crazy. And listen, with that Timberwolves team, I think that moving Cat out and bringing Randall in will make him better. Maybe not Randall's obviously not as good as Cat, but I feel that the chemistry between Randall and Rudy Gobert, DiVincenzo, they got a good team. So I think he'll lead them. I think he got MVP.
Dude, I really wanted to pick them. I really want to pick Edwards because he is just so good.
Yeah. He's only getting better, too.
He is only getting better. Like, with each year, he is showing more confidence, showing more skill, becoming a leader, too. And his team is now having success. Like, that is a recipe for winning MVP.
And you saw what he did in the playoffs. He went crazy.
The thing is I feel like his stats aren't good. Scoring-wise, possibly.
Yeah.
But his other stats
aren't great.
You've seen, they're fine. They're for his position. They're great.
Yeah, they're just not
but
like...
compared to what they've been giving the award to... he would have to have the most insane. He'd have to average like 38 points, which I wouldn't say is impossible for him, but that's a tall task. They are biased a little bit against guards. Now my pick is also a guard, but you've seen it's been Jokic, it's been Embiid, it's been Antetokounmpo, and the last time who won it was Harden, and Harden was leading the league in assists and points, like going ballistic. But if there's someone who could do that, who isn't the big man named Nikola Jokic, it is another foreigner, Luka Doncic. He seems so... The fact he is not one, and he was close last year. I think he finished third. He is so due. Dallas is finally having some success, and Luka's a beast. I don't think you can say otherwise. The only thing that could hurt him is he's a little bit inefficient from the field, but he had his best three-point shooting year and took 10.5 threes per game last year. He had his highest average score for points, highest average for rebounds, highest average for assists. So the fact he didn't win last year is a little worrisome with him setting all career highs, but it's Luka. He's probably going to do that again. And again, if Dallas is successful, if your team is a winning team, odds are you're going to be in the MVP conversation. But, Corey, who do you think the MVP is going to be?
Well, I was going to say Luka, but I think maybe Shai Gilgeous.
I think
just with how he played last year. I mean, last 2 seasons, averaging 30 each year. I think he's due.
SGA
I just think he's due.
He's been so good. And especially, same conversation. Oklahoma's been really, really good. Oklahoma State's been freaking phenomenal. Each year has gotten better and better. Finished second last year. The only thing is a lot of people consider him a free throw merchant. But that's also it's an art skill getting to the line. Like people make fun of it. Like Embiid hits the deck a lot. Don't get me wrong. But, like, it is an art skill getting to the cup and earning fouls. And he does a good job. And he shouldn't be penalized for converting on those shots.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing, we're all going with guards, which I'm all for. We need to see a guard win. It's been a while. But the way that the NBA has been trending, it seems like it's the era of the big men. I think someone who you have to watch out for. It's really early in his career.
I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, you know exactly. Victor Wembanyama, dude. What he did last year, you think they've put a couple of other teammates around him who could make him have a little bit of success. I don't think the Spurs are going to be a playoff team. That's probably going to be the only thing that hurts him. But, I mean, the fact he didn't win DPOY last year was crazy. He had better stats, at least the accounting stats and some of those things. Gobert had some of the advanced analytics in his favor. But I think Wemby, dude. If Wemby goes crazy, it has the way he plays, dude. He plays very fluent. Kind of, I wouldn't say exactly like Jokic. He's a better defender than Jokic. I think he's worse as a playmaker. But if he puts up a crazy year, which I mean, he basically is playing 2K against everyone. He's just messing around out there. I think there's definitely a chance for him to win MVP. I think he's a surefire decoy by the end of the year, though. All right, stamp it now as well. Who else? Who is going to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy at the end of the season?
I was gonna say before, maybe we can do it after. We should like tier these. I feel we should tier like the Eastern Conference.
Oh
like
yeah,
who's
100% we can.
we can get to that after. Whatever.
Yeah,
Alright.
let's.
Corey,
Let's
Corey,
yeah,
go
I was
for
gonna say let's
it.
work
Let's-
around the board.
Yeah,
Corey.
there we go.
Who do you
We'll
think-
go in reverse now.
Reverse.
Who
Yeah,
do you
reverse,
think is going
reverse.
to win the NBA Finals this year?
That's tough. That's tough. If I had to choose, oh my god.
I feel you only got two options in the East.
Yeah.
There's really only two.
Mhm.
Wait, no love for Orlando. Orlando.
They're not
Magic.
there. They're gonna be good. They're very
they
exciting.
very much improved last year, man.
Yeah, but
I think
you
I
only got two options. In
probably
the
the Celtics. I would say. I think
Do
even
you
though
think the Celtics run it back? Do you think they win the East, or you think they win it all? That's what's.
I
'cause
feel-
the West is so tricky, man.
yeah, I feel like this year they're going to win the East. I don't think they're going to go back to back. I think winning out of the West, I think that has a good chance of winning it all. I think is OKC. I think they're still due with how they played last season.
Yes, sir. So you're gonna rock with the Celtics?
Yeah, I think I will.
Okay. I'm gonna rock with the team you just mentioned, and maybe it's a little bit of bias, but this team is so good, man. Oklahoma City, they have everything you need for a championship roster. You have that true superstar in SGA. You have two very good supporting cast members as like number 2 and number 3 options in J-Dub and Chet. The Lou Dort puts them in the torture chamber. Anyone he's guarded, their best wing player, he bullies every single game. They bring in Alex Caruso, who plays very similar to Dort. Dort also improved his 3-point shooting, which was huge last year. I think Casson Wallace and Isaiah Joe are great outside shooters who fit in that offense. Hartenstein's hurt right now, but I think Hartenstein filled that biggest need, which was having that interior presence. While Chet is a great defender, he is still very skinny and gets bullied by these bigger guys. I think Chet plays more of a 4. I don't think he's a true 5. So if you run Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren on the court at the same time, you can space the floor with them. And Hartenstein will guard that inside presence when you're facing Embiid, when you're facing Antetokounmpo, when you're facing Ant Davis, when you're facing these big-bodied, bully-type players. So I think, and OKC looked good last year, and they finally got that little bit of playoff experience, won that first-round series. The West is so hard to predict, but I think OKC, this could be their year. JD, who do you want to win, and who do you think's going to win?
Well, we'll start. I'll get to that. We'll start with the West. Listen, I've been looking at the standings since like yesterday. I'm like a big NBA guy. Everyone knows that. I enjoy I probably enjoy watching basketball the most out of every sport, which is a little weird. Football probably number 1, but so I was thinking about it. I'm like, the Thunder are very, very good, as you guys both said, but I don't think they're ready to get to the final, to win it yet.
Yeah.
I don't even have them getting there. I think they're gonna fall in the conference finals, or maybe a little.
They could lose in that second round.
I was gonna say second round too. I don't think Dallas gets back. I know they did last year, but I'm not too high on them. They're a good team, but I don't think they'll replicate that. Minnesota too. I think they're a really good team. I'm not gonna say it like that the way you do. Minnesota's a good team as well, but I think they have some flaws. I think every Western Conference team is very talented. Denver, another team, very good, but they have their own issues. I think the Suns are gonna get there this year.
Really?
I know people are down on them, and I feel that's great for the entire team there, or what they can do. When you got KD and D-Book, that's just you got two top 15 players.
What about
in the league.
Grayson Allen?
Grayson, dude.
I mean,
And I don't think Bradley Beal's going to be he's the
Yeah.
X factor.
That's exactly what I was going to say. He is definitely the X factor because Beal was so bad last year.
Yeah.
But I don't see him being that bad back-to-back years. I think the first year it was learning how to work aside Booker and Durant, and he has to learn he's not the one anymore.
Yeah,
if he fits that role of being the 3, he'll be great. And dude, I think having Nurkic as your big man inside, Royce O'Neal's there. Like Josh Okogie is a great role player.
He's good. Yes.
Like they have a lot of good. They don't have a deep team. They don't have like. They're not like the Celtics where they have like 9 or 10 guys they can go to. I think they only have like 7 or 8 maybe.
I would say.
So if
8,
someone gets hurt, they're in a little bit of trouble. But if they click the way that a lot of them supposed to, as the front office sees, the coaching staff sees, this Suns team, it's not so far fetched.
No, and they brought in a new coach. I couldn't think of his name, Mike Budenholzer, who he coached Giannis for all those years. So I think he can get the most out of this group. That's why I really think this is the year they can do it. Because if they don't win this year, I don't think that team's going to be as like a whole anymore.
This is their it's all
this
in
make
their
or
bust,
break.
yeah.
Yeah. So that's why, and I feel like they out of those top West teams, they probably have the most experience. I would say out of all of them.
Yeah.
And then like I don't know, people are like throwing the Lakers out there. They're not winning.
No.
You guys they got to stop.
I
Like,
think anytime you have Braun, you just always
Yeah,
have to
but-
put them in the conversation.
that team's not great. Besides AD and him.
What are you
Like,
talking about? Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Dalton Neck is a dog.
Connect.
Who?
Yeah.
That's,
Connect.
the K silent.
Yeah.
It should be silent.
It's not though.
Who?
Say his name right, man. But he's very good. Yes, I'll give you that. But they're not winning the finals. And same thing with Golden State. They're not where they used to be. But the West is
The West
scary.
is still a dog.
Even like obviously the Pelicans are another. We'll tier them. I don't want to
Yeah.
give it all away.
Yeah.
But for the East, you all know I want the Knicks to win. Right now, as season starting, I think the Celtics are better than them, which is there's no argument. But I think the Knicks have the potential to beat them by the end of the year. Like tomorrow night, if they lose, I wouldn't be worried. It's the first game of the season. You got a lot of room to grow. Like the Celtics team now, they're going into a whole nother year playing together. The Knicks don't have that luxury yet. So I feel like the Knicks can use this regular season as a way of growing, getting that chemistry, and then in the playoffs, you go crazy. I think the X factor for the Knicks is Bridges. Depend how good he is how good the team will be. So that's what I got.
no screaming team takes if they lose tomorrow night next week.
No. I'm not worried. And I just want them to start out. I think they got I'm pretty sure the Pacers on Friday too. So we got to get some.
Marywood Pacers?
No. The Indiana Pacers. We got to get some sweet revenge on them too. 'Cause they knocked us out.
I do want to ask.
I didn't say my winner.
Yeah, I
no.
was gonna say who's the winner gonna be?
I got the Suns. I really think
You
I think they're gonna do it.
Dude, it's not the most far-fetched thing. You made really good points about it.
Yep.
It's just it depends on if they can click the right way.
And KD's health too, or if he
Yeah.
acts like a crybaby within like the first 2 months.
There's a lot of ifs.
Yeah.
But if everything goes right.
Yeah.
All right, let's tier list both the East and the West. We'll start with the East. I think that top tier there's only really 2 teams. I think it's Boston and New York. I think those are the top 2.
Yeah.
Boston is obviously the better of the 2, but I think they're both in the same category. That second tier, I would say
Bucks, right? Bucks.
I would say
Cavs,
Bucks.
Sixers. I would say, and Pacers. I think they're all in the same. I think the Pacers are good.
I would put another team in too, dude.
Who, the Magic?
I'd put Orlando. I think
think so?
Orlando's really, really, really. I think they take that step up. If anyone, honestly, I could see the Bucks falling out of that tier
Yeah.
and Orlando replacing them if we had to put 4 teams. But we'll put 5 there. So, then the tier after that, it's the Heat. It's
Atlanta too. They could be
Atlanta.
okay.
Atlanta, yeah.
teams that Chicago as well, like teams who are like play-in worthy.
Like play-in champions coming up.
Yeah, they're gonna be in the playing game, but they're not gonna do anything. And then you have the cellar dwellers.
Don't forget those Wizards. Don't forget.
The Wizards are in their own tier. They're the worst team in basketball. Honestly, no, I would put the Raptors in that Heat tier as well.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think this
Yeah.
Raptors team. I know you aren't crazy on him when he was in New York. I think RJ Barrett has a breakout year. I think he averages like 25, 26 points, like something kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Maybe makes an All-Star squad, most improved possibly. Like I really think him and Quickly are going to have success because they got over there midway through the year. I
Yeah.
think they had that little time to get adjusted. I think having a full year and also RJ being back home, I think that they're not going to be great, but I think the Raptors could have a little bit of potential going forward. But then that bottom tier, the Nets, the Pistons. No, the Nets are in their own tier above them. The Pistons, the Hornets, and the Wizards, the cellar dwellers.
Yeah.
And that's just going to have direction. Those teams just stink. Let's move out to the West. I think that top tier has to be Denver, Oklahoma City, and Minnesota. I think those are the
Yeah.
3 best teams by far. Not the teams who may necessarily win
Yeah,
the
yeah,
finals,
best.
but they're the best 3 regular season teams. Like they're head and shoulders above everyone. The next tier, I think it's got to be Phoenix. It's got to be Dallas.
Sacramento.
think Sacramento's fringe. I think
Yeah.
they are probably the tier just.
I was gonna
below
say
that.
them in Memphis, I think, are like, and I think are a little.
I think
Yeah, a
dude,
little lower.
I think they're lower, but I think a lot of people are sleeping on them. I think Memphis is really going to bounce back. Morant was hurt a lot last year.
suspended.
They
Yeah,
brought
also-
Sauced as well. Yeah, they brought in Zach. I know Zach Edey is kind of just like an inside merchant, and he's
Yeah.
not going to get away.
He can be good
but
for
he's
Morant.
still going to be very good,
Yeah.
dude. And they still have JJJ, who's freaking phenomenal. I would put that in that next tier: Memphis, Sacramento, Clippers. Maybe.
Did we say Phoenix yet? Because we
Yeah,
didn't.
Phoenix.
Yeah,
was
they
in
were
the
in that
tier above.
second tier.
The second tier.
Um,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And New Orleans, I think.
Yeah.
So they're kind of yeah, and then I think Lakers and put the Spurs with them as well. Put the Spurs. I think the Spurs are gonna be better.
Honestly, I think that third tier is really like most of the teams that are left.
Yeah,
for the
but
most
I
part.
think the Lakers and Warriors are in their own tier where they're in that same ballpark, but they're like holding on to past glory.
But you think the Spurs are ahead of those two? I don't think so.
No, I think those tiers are next to each
Oh,
other.
yeah, I was gonna
but
say,
there's just a
like
sub.
separate,
They're in
yeah.
the same tier, but there's a subcategory. There's the teams who are going to be playing about playing worthy,
Yeah.
or maybe grab one of the lower playoff spots. And then there's the Lakers and Clippers who are going to be, or the Lakers and Warriors who are in that same category, but they're kind of just holding on to past glory, and the other teams are trending up while they're trending down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Utah has no true direction. Portland, same thing. We forgot the Rockets. I think the Rockets are in that category too.
They'll surprise people.
Yeah, but I think Portland and Utah could just sit in the stinky little cellar.
I forgot they had the third pick and they drafted Shepard. I'm excited for him.
Reed
too.
Shepard, dog.
Yeah, he could shoot.
Who?
He could shoot it.
I'm excited for Dillingham. I don't know if this will be the year where he breaks out, but in that Minnesota offense, I think him working alongside with Edwards, he's going to find success in his career.
Yeah.
All right, let's wrap it up with what we usually do. It's time for a little bonus. We got not one, not two, but three picks this week. I'm still in the cellar because Soren played good defense. Cameron is still El Champion as he places the crown on his head. As we look at the standings, Cameron first, followed by Bernie, Corey. Ben should be in his own thing, but Bernie, Corey, and Ben. Ben with 242 points, nearly double John's point differential. And then 4 teams at 4-4, JD, Jack, Soren, and myself. So we got a double header tonight, Monday Night Football, and with the World Series coming up, we are doing predictions for that. So the way that the scoring will work for that, obviously the series differential will count, and we also did total runs for the series, so that will kind of sway with the points. Ben really trying to break I guess he's trying to break 1,000 points, but let's start with the usual picks. Let's start with Monday Night Football. I'll get us started with the Ravens versus the Bucs game. I'm taking the Baltimore Ravens, 28-24. The over-under for this game is like 50.5. Everyone's expecting it to be a high-scoring game. I'm not saying it's not going to be, but I don't think it's going to be 30s to 30s. I think 28-21 is a good spot. The Ravens have been really good. Lamar has looked like a star the last couple weeks, and Derrick Henry just no one can tackle that man. He's averaging 100 yards per game and a TUD per game as well. I think Baker's going to be fine too. I think Rashad White stinks. Baker will probably throw for 300 yards, but I don't think it's going to be this scoregami type game where 40s and 50s points come in. I think 49 total points for the game. I think that's a solid score. JD, what do you think's happening in this game?
I know how you said like you didn't think it would be 30s. I got the Ravens winning 35-30. I think like we all sit back and see like how good the Ravens offense has been over the recent years, but I think that this is probably the best they've looked, I think, with Derrick Henry being in there and Lamar. That's just unfair to like every team. So I think they're going to run all over the Bucs tonight. And then the Bucs still don't really stop the run that great. They're okay. But, I mean, it doesn't matter anyway. I think the Ravens can run over anyone. On the other side, I think Baker is going to play well, but I think they'll lose because he'll have a crucial interception in the second half. Because he's played great this year, but he still has that recklessness to him where he goes out there and does something stupid and it can cost them. And it hasn't cost them really this year, but I think a game like tonight, it's going to be a great game. And Baker will probably be why they lose with a stupid pick, hopefully by Kyle Hamilton if he's playing. And I think the experience of John Harbaugh, if people, I don't think recognize how good of a coach he is. Every year in, year out, he always gets that team to play great, and he's been there forever. So I think the first Harbaugh brother will get a win tonight, and we'll see what happens in my second prediction.
Harbaugh doubleheader. Corey, what do you think?
I also think the Ravens are going to win 38-31. I think it's going to be a shootout. You know, obviously the Ravens offense, I'm just kind of regurgitating what you guys said, probably look the best they've been. Lamar's been balling out. Derrick Henry. Baker's having the best season of his career. I think, the offense will keep up. But I just think the Ravens just offensively have just been playing a little bit better. And like you said, I think those couple turnovers and mistakes are why the Bucs are going to shoot themselves in the foot. But Ravens 38-31.
So it sounds like I'm hoping for it to be a low scoring, as low of a scoring game as
you gotta
possible,
hope
so
for that,
everyone
yeah.
has points. Cameron, what do you think, man?
So, I mean, this is just your typical, it's going to be just straight gunslinging. I mean, like, Derrick Henry is there, and I don't think that he's going to have a terrible game because it's
Derrick Henry.
It's Derrick Henry. I mean,
80
like,
yards and a touchdown.
yeah,
That's his,
pretty
worst.
much. Like,
would-
he's
you
going to
would-
probably have the first snap of the game, and it's probably going to be direct snap and wildcat, and he'll probably score a 90-yard touchdown. Just
You and
because I
him are
said
both
that.
the same, both kings at the moment.
Yeah, literally. I don't know. I don't really have anything else to add. I chose the Ravens 34-28. I hope this is not clipped like some college game day thing. I know Bernie would probably have a field day with this if the inevitable does happen tonight. But I mean, it's in Tampa Bay, so we'll see.
Soren, come on, 2K, let's go. What do you think is going to happen in the Ravens and Buccaneers game as you huddle over Corey?
For tonight's game, I want the Ravens to win, and I'm taking them 30-20. I think Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry are both going to ball out. But I think the surprising factor, for this game will probably be Zay Flowers, hopefully getting him a big yardage gain and as well as a touchdown. So that'll be exciting to watch. And like I said, Ravens are dominant right now, and they're playing against a pretty good team. So this should be an interesting game to watch.
Should be, man. Real quick, before we move on with the next picks, I was going on ESPN to check Soren's team as he name-dropped the 3 Ravens players who are all on his fantasy team.
Yeah, they're all on the team.
But we have news that an MRI confirms that Deshaun Watson has ruptured his Achilles, and he is done for the year.
I spit that out before in the middle of NBA talk. I guess no one heard me.
Yeah. What a shame.
My voice doesn't matter here, man. This is
All
not
right.
right.
Jack, what do we think, man? Come on. Do we have fantasy implications for your picks this week? Start with the Ravens and the Bucs.
So I got Ravens 33-24. Bucs defense, passing defense is
Stinks.
pretty awful. I think Zay Flowers is going to have a good game. No fan implications there. Definitely later, though.
Okay.
But, yeah. Ravens 33-24.
Alrighty. For Bernie, we got the Baltimore Ravens winning 29-22. He's trying to get scoregami. I know 29-22 is probably not a scoregami, but it's a little bit odd number. I guess both teams go for a 2-point conversion. Something like
Some
that.
safeties or something.
And then for our favorite picker, trying to inflate the points as much as possible. Going against the grain with this one.
This is good for us.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, as Ben Galco picks, 38-28. It could be good for us, but it could be bad for us.
No,
man.
it could be, but I think that if we're all going with the Ravens and the one goes with the Bucs, that helps.
Usually,
It helps.
usually the one standout is the one who loses.
Yeah.
But-
Hopefully, for our sake,
see.
we love you, Ben, but we hope you lose this week.
Well, I never said I love Ben. I like
I
Ben.
did. I did.
Okay. We'll switch to the 9 o'clock game. Starting late tonight, the 9 o'clock Monday Night Football game. This one's a little bit more even against the other Harbaugh brother, leading the Chargers versus the Cardinals. Give me the Cardinals to win 20-17. They are playing way better than their record shows. They're 2-4 right now. I think they're a significantly better team. Marvin Harrison Jr. being healthy, I think, is a huge factor. I know there was the concussion. He hasn't been great the last few weeks. I think he's due for a big game. And they're at home, too, so home field advantage usually plays in their favor. And the Chargers' defense is really good. I'm not sold on the offense. I know Dobbins has been good. Herbert keeps finding a way to find these guys. I don't think they've played anyone legit either. They beat Vegas. It's Vegas. They beat the Panthers. Do we want to continue with the Panthers? And they beat Denver, who was better, but I don't think Denver's that good. I think they had a good week against New Orleans. I don't think Denver is this end all be all. So I think both teams' records are a little bit. They don't reflect how good or bad the team is. So give me the Arizona Cardinals 20-17. JD, what do you got in this one?
I got the Chargers 28-20, but I don't think that the Chargers offense is going to be that great. They don't impress me. As you just said, the 3 wins are against teams that aren't good. But I just think that the Cardinals will shoot themselves in the foot a lot. I think that because that Chargers defense it's pretty good. The whole year they've been great. Harbaugh has them playing on, they're exceeding expectations, I think, in my opinion. But I think tonight they do. The defense I think Kyler turns it over 3 times tonight between fumbles and picks. I really think he's going to struggle tonight. I think they're going to get to him early, rattle him, and then I think they'll work with some short fields and punch it in for a few touchdowns that the Chargers probably wouldn't have gotten if they don't get those turnovers. So I'm banking on their defense to really step up tonight.
Go Dicker the kicker.
No.
Dog.
Who?
Who do we got, Corey?
I got the Chargers 23-13. I think it's been impressive seeing this Chargers defense with how they've been playing without Joey Bosa. But like we said, like John said, this defense only gives up 13 a game. Like, they've been playing really good. Kyler, like, he's been okay. Like, has he been, the Kyler Murray that we're used to? No. But he did lead them against San Fran last week, and I think he'll have to play that way to get this win. And I think the Chargers, the only way they're going to win is with the run game with J.K. Dobbins, because the Cardinals' defense hasn't really been good stopping the run. So I got the Chargers 23-13.
You have them still averaging 13 points a game. Allowed. gotta keep the average strong. Cameron, who do we got in this one?
All right, to quote the man sitting in the chair over there, Mr. Jack, there are fantasy implications. Granted, I am going to lose either way. But there's also something that was very big that's been lingering on my mind. And I know it might have been lingering on your guys' minds, but you guys clearly didn't think about it because you chose the Chargers. October 25th, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 drops. You know what that means? Kyle Murray is in the best mood that he could possibly be in right now. He is so hyped to get out of work today to be able to just start the pre-download for Call of Duty in a couple days. Like, that man's got to be through the moon right now, and then as soon as that game drops, Double XP weekend starts happening, then he starts to fall off towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I was gonna say this might be the only.
This is his week. This is the week that Kyle Murray is going to step up, because next week he's just going to be thinking about getting that gold camo first. There is no reasons to be picking the Chargers tonight. It's going to be smash mouth football. I mean, we got J.K. Dobbins, we got Kyle Murray, possibly scrambling.
Wait,
I meant to say Kyler. I meant to say I was thinking James Conner, but I'm just rambling right now. I meant to say James Conner. Maybe I meant to say Josh Reynolds. I don't know.
I wanted to correct you after the first one. I thought maybe you just slipped up and then you did it like 2 other times after. I'm like, oh.
Doubled and tripled down.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 drops on Friday. That's just the last week for him to step up.
He might be called Kyle Murray after the game drops when he's looking for like a different quarterback.
What is he in the trailers? The Revenger or whatever?
Something like that. Yeah.
Does anyone know what I'm talking about? He signed a deal with Call of Duty this
Yeah,
past
of
couple
course he
weeks
did.
ago. So, I mean, you know what he's excited for, really. He doesn't care about football anymore, except for this game.
Hey, come on, El Champion. No, you're not El Champion. You're Cellar Dweller.
Well, for this game, I think that Cameron is completely wrong.
Wow.
And I'm going to take the Chargers.
Damn, he's
20
coming. He's
shots.
coming for the throne.
That's why you're at the bottom
Shots.
of the leaderboard, Soren.
Well,
You got to do a lot of makeup.
Actually, I am, but
I mean, to say that in front of El Champion.
yeah, El King, Los King.
So my prediction is that the Chargers are going to win 24-17. I think J.K. Dobbins is going to have a pretty decent game. The defense hopefully will tighten up the Cardinals a little bit, and hopefully we get some kicking points too. Gotta have respect for
That is how. That is how.
Cameron Dicker the kicker. So,
Yeah, we don't want him. I don't want him to do good tonight. But for you, yeah.
Yeah, maybe
It's
have
your
some
pick, not mine.
yeah, maybe have respect for a different Cameron, our king, our champ, Bucko. All right, yeah, vamos, run along. Jacqueline.
Oh,
What'd you call him? Jacqueline. Jacqueline Biggs.
I'm coming in with the third consecutive 24-17 scoreline. I got the Cardinals here. I'm trying to be happy tonight, so I have the Chargers defense and Lad McConkey.
Yeah. Okay.
Fantasy 26-point deficit. If the Cardinals, Chargers defense doesn't do too hot, Cardinals win. I at least get a fan
McConkey, 2
prediction, right?
touchdowns.
You get a
I
win
need
no matter
McConkey,
what.
bro.
McConkey, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, exactly. The Chargers have no receivers. If McConkey's out, I need to pick up Joshua Palmer. Like it's not good. But
Shambles right now.
yeah, Chargers offense kind of lackluster. But I need McConkey. I need my boy McConkey. Please let.
Thank you, Jack. Bernie going with the Chargers 21-18, and Ben Galco, the man behind the monitor. Normal score this week, 26-14 in favor of the Los Angeles Chargers. Now for the bonus pick of the week, as it's labeled in the folder, anti-OMG versus Ohtani. We got the Yankees and the Dodgers in the World Series. Again, the way that we are doing it is the point differential count for total runs in the series and the series score as well. So I'll start us off once more. I'm taking the New York Yankees to win their 28th World Series championship. I have the series being 4-2, and I want to make sure I wrote this down right. Yeah, I did. I have 58 total runs being scored in the World Series. The Yankees have made quick work of their opponents. So I feel like their team is not well rested because they're going to be going in basically with the same break as the Dodgers, but they've had those couple extra days here and there after taking care of business against the Royals, taking care of business against the Guardians. And I think the rotation's significantly better than Los Angeles's. I think Cole's been great. Rodon's been great. The top to bottom, they're better. Judge did hit that home run. I feel like he's going to finally get his groove in this World Series. And freaking Soto, man. Like he's been great. He's always great. He's destined for the big scene. Hitting 333, 5 extra base hits in the postseason, including the game-winning home run in Game 5 of the ALCS against the Guardians. So I'm rocking with the Yankees. 4-2 in the series. I know we didn't include this for this part, but Juan Soto, World Series MVP. JD, who do we got?
I got the Dodgers in 7. Total of 70 runs. So I was saying, all right, that goes 7 games, 10 runs a game, but I don't think it'll be exactly 10 runs a game. But like there'll be some games where I think the Dodgers break out, and the Yankees, of course, they'll break out too because both teams can hit. But the two things that come to mind for me is pitching and defense. We all know the Yankees have a better starting staff, but I think the Dodgers are deeper throughout that whole bullpen. We saw it in the Mets series and the Padres series for the Dodgers. They can throw anyone out of that bullpen. It's guys throwing 98 with sink and all that. And then the Dodgers defense is pretty good. I think the Yankees defense is I don't believe in them too much, and that can cost you games. Like that can lose you a game or two if you make a crucial error. So I think that's where the Dodgers have the edge, which will get them the World Series. I think Betts will win MVP. I know everyone's like, oh, Ohtani. I think Betts will win it. And also, I didn't really think of this that much. I'm banking on Freddie Freeman using these days to rest up and be available for all the games, because we saw he missed 2 or 3 games. No, 2 games in the Mets series and 1 in the Padres series. So if they don't have him, that could definitely make me look like an idiot and get this prediction wrong. So I'm banking on him playing all 7 games and the Dodgers coming away. And for a personal note, I really want the Dodgers to win just because I don't want to hear all these Yankee fans anymore. I can't deal with it. It's just too much.
Who do you think the MVP is going to be?
I just said Betts.
Betts, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Corey?
I got the Yankees winning in 7, 63 total runs. Juan Soto, walk-off home run to get me exactly 63 total runs. And, he's going to be MVP.
Okay. Short, sweet, to the point.
Short and sweet.
Cameron?
All right. First of all, before I get along with my predictions, I think Vinny might be the fakest Philly fan that I've ever met in my entire life. No one from the city of Philadelphia ever banks on a New York team to win, so I'm kind of disappointed that you need to do that for the first place. Proud of you for stepping up, doing what you need to do. I'm really, really sorry, but that's where my part comes in. They're going to repeat history. History loves to repeat itself, as we started off with the trivia question today. I have the Dodgers winning 4-2. With 66 runs. I don't know how I got 66 runs. I think I just, there's a space between 4 and 2, and then you jump one more, and there's 5. You get 6, you get it twice. I think that's what I was going with. I don't want a New York team to win. I really just.
I'm not rooting for the Yankees to win. I'm just saying I think the Yankees will win.
But you always got to fade a New York team. It don't matter.
Okay. Soren, Who do you have to win? Damn, now I'm going to be in the same category as Soren. Come on, dude.
Yeah, so I am going to take the Yankees to win the World Series, but however, it is going to be a very close World Series. So I would expect a very competitive battle between Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, which I think is going to be the main highlight.
Soren, how many games? Like, what's the series score?
The series is going to be 4-3,
And how many runs?
62 runs.
Look, you can read.
And yeah, I was looking at my phone when I was trying to do it, but talk about it. But anyways, beside the point, Mookie Betts I think will kind of produce, as well as Aaron Judge. You got Gleyber Torres who's been on a run, but I think the pitching is really going to be where it's going to really matter. Shout out to Tim Meza, by the way, from the local town of my hometown. So hopefully he will play well this World Series. I'm looking forward to see him pitch in the World Series. So
World Series MVP? Is that who it is? Tim Meza?
no, he's actually not going to be my World Series MVP. But I would say my World Series MVP will be Gleyber Torres.
Okay.
I'm taking a shot.
I wonder if Tim
works.
I wonder if Tim Meza's been down in Soren's Alley before. Maybe. Jack, Mr. Biggs.
We'd have to ask him.
Who do you have, Mr. Biggs?
It's kind of tough picking between two supervillains here in the World Series. But I'm going Dodgers 4-3, 67 runs total. And dark horse World Series MVP, Dodgers rookie Andy Pages is going to rock it.
John Downey's dad's favorite
Multi
player.
homer, Game 5. I think it's going to be generational. For Mr. Andy.
Okay. Bernie picked the Dodgers to win 4-3 with a total run score of 69. Nice. Who do we think Bernie would pick as MVP? Freddie.
Tommy Edman.
Tommy Edman. Yep. All right, cool. Tommy Edman, that's Bernie's pick. And we'll finish with the most egregious. He should win an award for most egregious pick of the week. He has the Yankees.
He has to, though.
Ben has the Yankees to win 4-0 in the series. Clean sweep. And you'd think in 4 games the runs will be low, right? Nope. He has the highest run total of anyone with 74 runs in 4 games.
All by the Yankees.
All by
right,
the
you
Yankees.
said?
He said 74 runs all scored by the Yankees, and then
Wow.
perfect games every game. Who's the World Series MVP, man? Gleyber.
Gleyber.
It's Gleyber Day. 2 Gleybers. I'm excited. Hopefully the standings shake up. Hopefully in my favor. I'm tired of being in last. I want to be above Soren as he exits the room. Run along, little boy. But yeah, so the way we'll look at this, odds are World Series, not odds are, World Series will not be over come next week, but we can always do a check-in, as we usually do with baseball anyway. But I probably won't know the results until
The next show.
probably the next show, if not the following one. Depends
No,
on-
it'll be over by the next one.
You think?
Not this Monday, the Monday after.
No, I know not this month.
Yeah, because Game 7, I think, is like November 2nd or something like that.
Oh, my weeks are getting mixed up. Okay, never mind. All right.
So we'll know. We'll know
okay.
soon.
Cool. Yeah, hopefully I can jump up in the standings. I'm tired of being in last. Next week's our Halloween episode.
That's right.
Everyone's gonna be dressed up as something. I know.
It's-
I'm real excited for my costume.
It's going to be
Are you
interesting.
gonna keep it secret?
Soren
You
Alley.
gonna- yeah, I'm very interested to see what someone wears. Are you gonna reveal to the fans what you're gonna be?
No, it's going to be a secret.
secret.
It's going to be a
Everyone's gonna
secret.
show up.
Yeah.
Should be a good one, boys. We got anything else before we wrap it up for the day?
No, I don't think
Oh,
so.
good.
Good show.
show.
A lot of energy, right?
Yeah, a
Positive
lot of
or negative, but
venting,
we had-
too.
yeah, feel better about
Yeah, we
myself.
don't like we don't like those women in San Antonio though. In honor of Chuck. All right, that's gonna do it for this edition of He Knows Ball. Make sure to check out YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all of it. JD to my left, Corey to my right, Soren in his alley, and everyone else from He Knows Ball. I'm Vince Goldschmidt. Have a great one.